Hey everybody, it's Abby. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. So today I wanted to do an old school beauty tutorial. So when I first started watching YouTube, it wasn't like it is now. I mean, I'm sure if you've been on YouTube or Twitter or anything recently, you know that people are kind of getting upset that everything has changed so much, where the beauty community is getting completely commercialized, everything's about money and about views. And while the bigger influencers are, I'm not going to make this a whole drama video, basically the bigger influencers have made it seem that way, that they have such a large audience, but there's people still here that do it just for the passion for makeup and wanting to share that. So that's not totally gone, and I kind of want to show that in this video. So basically when I started watching YouTube makeup videos, it wasn't all about getting sponsorships. It just was because people liked makeup, and it wasn't there was a few people that did it as their job, but not everybody. So I mean, now it's not everybody, but you know what I mean. It wasn't common to have it as your actual job as it is now. I'm filming my phone. Let me turn it on silent so that you don't see the or it doesn't vibrate. Because I've seen it when it vibrates, it'll make the picture all wobbly. But anyways, so yeah, when those tutorials were out, they weren't it wasn't obvious that they were getting PR, because PR did exist, then don't get me wrong, but it wasn't look at this product, this, and they read the the claims or whatever, and this is the greatest thing ever, they sent it to me, blah blah, even if they don't say they sent it to them. But when I watched them, it would be okay, now I'm applying this shimmery taupe eyeshadow to my lid, now I'm applying this this coral colored blush. It wasn't about the brand names and about the product placement and all that stuff. It was just about the makeup and how it made you look, not the product itself. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm actually going to mention brand names though, because there's some products that were cult favorite that I have some of them, but then other ones I have similar, and I'll mention what the favorite was. And this wasn't a long time ago. The beauty community has been around for over 10 years, but I have been watching for a while. But this is the stuff that when it started getting really popular, this is what was the thing. So as you can see, I don't normally have this. Is there a smudge, or is it or is that a shadow? I think that's just a glare of the ring light. Okay. Anyways, make sure there wasn't a smudge on my lens. So, what was I saying? Oh, so this is not where I usually film, but I scooted over. This is always here. I have the Alex drawers from IKEA, but they do not have makeup in them. But I thought, all the old school videos, everybody had the Alex drawers and everybody had a candle on in the background. So that's why that's there. I'm not trying to be basic, whatever. This is just throwback. So I'm I'm gonna film the videos I'm filming today right here, and then I'll probably move somewhere else. I don't know. But yeah, I just have the top drawer sticks, but literally just note cards and stuff. There's no makeup here. There's some my nail art stuff is in one of the drawers, but that's pretty much it. All my other ones are by the desk, which is on that side of the room. So let's go ahead and get started with this. I can't really zoom on this, but people didn't really zoom on the videos either. So the first time that I had seen somebody zoom in on their eye or something was Samantha. It's SSSAMANTHA or something. It was Samantha Ravndal, but she did that a lot at first. And my glasses are dirty, such is the life of an oily skinned person who wears a lot of makeup. So first things first, I'm going in with a primer. So today I'm using the e.l.f. Hydrating Face Primer. The primer back in the day, the only one that existed to everybody was the Smashbox. Which it's still around, and they've even made other, what do you call it, other varieties of it. But I don't hear that much about it anymore. And I never had that one either, so. Then for foundation, I am using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus. This is really new. It's like not even, I think maybe a little over a year old. But I can't remember. I was trying to think about the foundations that were popular back then. Oh, why am I usually put it just directly on my face, but I can't see what I'm doing. Like, there was MAC ones that were really popular, and then, hope I don't drop this on my pants. I'm trying to think of what else. Like, NARS Sheer Glow. Urban Decay. I did have the Urban Decay Naked one, but that didn't really get popular until later when Jaclyn Hill started using the concealer. Oh yeah, the Revlon Color Stay Foundation. That was a popular one. And by the way, I'm using the Real Techniques buffing brush. I do have the Expert Face Brush too. That was pretty popular to use for foundation for a while. Before, like, Beauty Blenders and stuff caught on. There was Beauty Blender, and then, I mean, there's been makeup sponges for a while. Ooh. I forgot that I put this on my hand, and I went to, like, I almost put it on my pants. Oh, that would have been bad. Okay. But the, like, foundation sponges have been around for a while, but, like, Beauty Blender, I don't think they, like, invented it. Maybe they invented, like, the shape or something, I don't know. But then, like, Real Techniques came out with theirs, and that's what I use. I've only had, like, maybe one Beauty Blender ever, because they're so expensive. And I didn't think it was any better than the Real Techniques one, to be honest. I don't have any of the concealers that everybody used, but I have the Wet n Wild Photo Focus concealer. It just works for me, so I'm going to use it. Now, the concealers that everybody used were the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer and the Maybelline... You know what I'm talking about. I can't remember what the name of it is. Oh, well, no, not that. That's not the one I was thinking of, but the Maybelline one that clicks up and's got a sponge on the end. The Maybelline Age Rewind. That was super popular, but I'm thinking about another one too. Oh, the Fit Me. Is that one newer? I don't remember. It might be newer, but the Fit Me was like a dupe for the NARS Radiant Creamy concealers. And, like, way, way back, the MAC, the little tube, squeezy tube, you know what I'm talking about, like the little tiny pump one. Studio Fix, no, I don't remember. I've never really, like, I've only had a few things for MAC, like, ever. And not anymore because they're not cruelty-free, but... So to blend out the concealer, I actually was going to get rid of this, but I kept it around, I didn't want to waste it. So this is a Morphe G2, and I got this, I don't think it was this specific brush, maybe it was, but Jaclyn Hill used a brush just like this. It was like pointed and fluffy to blend out under eye concealer. And then like everybody started using it. And then setting your under eyes was pretty popular to use like a translucent powder like the Laura Mercier translucent powder. Like baking was not really a thing for a while. I mean, I was in the drag community within the beauty community, you know, the YouTubers picked up on it after a while. But this is the Physicians Formula Mineral Wear powder. And I didn't bring over a loose setting powder, so. Also the Benai like banana powder, that was super popular. And what else? Oh, that banana color from the Anastasia contour kit. That was it. I never had that kit though. I did have the Kat Von D contour palette, but that didn't have a banana shade. I bought that like fairly recently when they reformulated it to be vegan, and I don't know what possessed me, but like if you're new to my channel, I use cruelty-free and vegan makeup. So I bought the not vegan one. I didn't like register that it wasn't vegan because I just assumed that Kat Von D all their products are, but they're not. But they are phasing out the non-vegan ones like at the moment. So, but then now like more recently I don't use Kat Von D anymore just because of well, if you've been around, I'm sure you've heard about that. I don't want to rehash it, but I have a video about it. So I have a couple options for bronzer. So what was super popular was the NARS Orgasm and Laguna blush and bronzer duo. But I had that one at one point, but I got rid of it. And then I have this e.l.f. contouring blush and bronzer in the shade St. Lucia. That's a dupe for it. So I have that. And then I have, well, options for blush and bronzer. I have this Wet n Wild Color Icon Take It to Brazil. This has been popular for a while. Also the NYC Sunny. I had that too. And for blush, the Milani Luminosa. This has been popular forever. As you can see, I put pan on the side of it. I tried to, like, I put it in a project pan, but it's not going anywhere fast. Just knocked over the little basket that I brought with all the makeup. So I am going to use this e.l.f. one. And what everybody used for contour was this Real Techniques contour brush. But this is not like, and I think up until fairly recently, they wasn't really understood the difference between contour and bronzer. But this is a bronzer shade. However, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna blend it out with a bigger one. Bigger brush, I should say. Like, I don't think bronzing was that big of a thing. Like, even personally, I didn't use bronzer for a long time. I just strictly contour, and it looked like I had a muddy streak down the side of my face. It was pretty nice. So, I'm glad that we moved on from that and have started using bronzer now. I mean, not that, like, you can do whatever you want, but still, like, you know, trend. Like, I remember Laguna, the bronzer, being something that people, like, would use up over and over again. That was because it was, like, their favorite. And usually, like, bronzer and blush and stuff you never use up. And then now, normally, you'd use a highlighter. But actually, highlighter wasn't that big of a thing until the glow kits came out. So, I'm going to skip that. I didn't even bring one over here because I knew that I wasn't going to use it. So, now for setting spray. The setting spray wasn't really that big of a thing for a while either. The only one that people used was like the Urban Decay one. The All Nighter or the Chill or D-Slick, or whatever other ones they have. I don't have any of those. I did have them before and I used them up. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus. This is not sponsored by Wet n Wild, by the way, but if they want to talk, you know. It's just, I like their products and they're inexpensive. Oh. Well, I always wondered about that because people would do those like hair tutorial. Where's the cap to this? Like the makeup and hair tutorials, you know, they do the hairspray and they had the candle in the background. I'm like, oh my god, you're gonna set yourself on fire. But actually, like a while back, if somebody was doing a like, if there's a YouTuber that you watch that did mostly makeup, and then every now and then they would throw in like a makeup and hair tutorial, it was a sponsored video for NuMe, the curling irons. Does anybody else remember that? And now I'm going to do my brows with the Anastasia Dip Brow. So I've had the same dip brow forever, and it's not really dried out yet, so I don't know. But this was like the thing to do your brows with forever, but now everybody's just kind of all over the place with their brow products. So I'm going to actually pause the video because it's going to take a while and do that and then come back. Okay, so brows are on. This was the thing to have them like super bold, but this is how I normally do it anyway. So or the thing really was to like have it faded in the middle and then like super dark on the outside, but whatever. Alright, and then the next thing was the Milani eyeshadow primer. This has been a thing for a little while, but really like the original eyeshadow primer was the Urban Decay Primer Potion. And I did have that for a while, and then I stopped using it. Mainly because the Milani primer is a fraction of the price and it works just as good. Dropping everything because I can't see. And then for eyeshadow, the thing was, well, first it was MAC single eyeshadows. That was it. Well, and like the very, very first, the Urban Decay Naked palette, which is being discontinued now. Like, what? But then people started moving on to MAC singles because they realized they can customize their own palettes. And then Makeup Geek comes along and destroys MAC and like pretty much forces them to bring their prices down because MAC single eyeshadows were so expensive. And then now we have like ColourPop and other places that have single shadows that are pretty inexpensive. But yeah, I have a few Makeup Geek shadows here. Namely Peach Smoothie, which was the most popular. And then I have Frappe, and I think that's it. I used to have another one, but it wasn't vegan, so I got rid of it. And I do have this one from Makeup Geek. What is it called? Mermaid. It's blue. So I'm going to use first the Peach Smoothie. Normally I don't do this. I stopped using like a transition shade a long time ago. I just go straight in with my crease shade, but you know, just for the video. And the blending brush that everybody used was the MAC 237, I think. Is that what it was called? And the Morphe M433. I'm surprised how I remember these. Like, it's because they've been drilled into my brain. I've never actually had any, like most of these products I've never had, but the names have just been drilled into my brain from watching videos. And then I'm going to take the shade of Frappe and put that on the outer-ish part. And bringing it over into the middle. I didn't know why I didn't say that a second ago. And I just recently placed an order on ColourPop for more single shadows. And eventually I'm going to put order on Makeup Geek for some. Especially, like, I'm really interested in their foiled shadows. I'm going to take a little bit of that Frappe and put it underneath of my lower lash line. And just because I don't have very many Makeup Geek shadows, I'm going to take one of these ColourPop ones. Do this one. What's this called? High Strung. And then I'm going to pat that on the lid. Actually, these foiled-ish metallic shadows do better if you kind of swipe them a little bit versus patting them. And then I'm going to take this highlighter from ColourPop because I don't have a light eyeshadow. This is Silvu Play. It's just a highlighter, so I'm going to put that in the inner corner. Like, normally tutorials at this point would be like, just put a shimmery white eyeshadow in your inner corner. I really went heavy with that. I got it down my eye bags. And then the big thing was to do wing liner, but I'm not going to do that. It's so hard to do wing liner on hooded eyes, so I just don't. And, yeah, wing liner was a huge thing. The Kat Von D tattoo liner was pretty much it. And then, what else? Mascara. What were the big mascaras? I know like Better Than Sex was I think that's been around for quite a while. I don't remember what else there is. The CoverGirl Clump Crusher, that was like the mascara. I did have that one quite a few times, but now I'm cruelty free, so I don't use CoverGirl. But yeah, so this one I have is called Killer Curves from Physicians Formula. It's kind of similar to the idea of the Better Than Sex, where it's got like the an hourglass-ish wand. It's not as dramatic as the Too Faced one, but I think this one works pretty well, and it's fairly new, I think. Maybe not, I'm not sure. Oh, something I forgot when I was doing my eyeshadow. So it was a thing, it's not so much recently, but where when you put on your eyeshadow primer, you would just put on like a shade, just an eyeshadow that's close to your skin tone to set your eyeshadow primer. Which now we've learned that you don't have to do that. Like, I swear somebody just made that up because it doesn't actually do anything. I just love this mascara. Like, it does what I want it to in one coat. It keeps them curled for the most part. I've never found a vegan mascara that's like super curl. And I've had a few that work okay, but I have to scrape off the wand because there's too much product. But this one's perfect. So I don't know what it is, why I didn't discover that mascara earlier. I have eyelashes on the bottom that like want to turn up into my eyeball, and so I have to make sure that they're not there. Okay, here's how it's looking right now, and I will get the lip product. So there have been quite a few lip products in and out over the years. I'm trying to think of like the first. For a long time, I've been a part of the Reddit makeup addiction. I mean, I haven't, like, not so much recently, but when I first started getting into makeup, I spent a lot of time there, and like one of the huge lipsticks was Revlon Black Cherry. It was like dark, vampy, purpley red, and everybody had it. I had it too, but I didn't like it because it was super stiff and hard to work with. But I'm trying to think of what some other really popular lipsticks were. Oh my gosh, the Revlon, what were those called? The butter lipsticks. Like, everybody had those, and I had a couple, and I used one up completely. I'm trying to think of what else. And also from Revlon, I think Revlon had a lot of good lip products back in the day. The pencil, I can't remember what they're called, but they had like matte ones, and then they had like a stain one, and I can't remember what it's called, but I'll put it up on the screen if I can remember. But this is not like me advocating for them because they're not cruelty free, but still, like, that's just like trying to show you, like, for the newbies in the makeup community, like, this is the stuff that we used to use, you know? And I think some of the first liquid lipstick, like, well, liquid lipstick has been around for a long time. Even when I was, like, in high school, they had these, like, CoverGirl and I think Revlon, maybe Maybelline, had these lipsticks. Like, they were on the bottom shelf. Like, nobody bought them. But they were, it was like a double-sided thing where it had, like, a liquid lip color, and then it had a balm that went over top of it. And those things would last, like, through the apocalypse. Like, it was crazy. I had a red one at one point, and it was so horribly uncomfortable. It felt like dried paint on your lips. It was not good, but it stayed forever. And, like, the lip balm thing didn't even help. But then the first few liquid lipsticks, I know, like, Kat Von D came out with theirs, and Anastasia came out with theirs, which actually I do have an Anastasia one right here. I just recently got it. And this one was in the first run of their lipsticks, and they've since, like, greatly expanded it. Jeffree Star liquid lipsticks were pretty, I mean, they're not I think he's only been in business for like 3 or 4 years. I'm trying to think who... Like the ColourPop. ColourPop came out with lipsticks a little while after, but they had the Lippy Sticks, which I had a few of. I didn't quite like. The Urban Decay Naked, or not the Naked, the Revolution lipsticks. I loved them so much. They were amazing. They like discontinued those and reformulated them or whatever. Stila had liquid lipsticks. They still do, but you know. I'm trying to think of who else. And the Bite had lipsticks and their Lush Fruit lip glosses. Like, those would sell like crazy because of Jaclyn Hill. Like, I even bought a lip gloss, like when I used to actually use lip gloss. And I had the shade of Rambutan. It was like a creamy light pink. I don't know why. Like, me and creamy light pink, no. And also lip gloss, no. So I don't know what happened between now and then. And then also that reminds me, the NYX Butter Glosses were the thing. I had like 15 of them at least. And yeah. And the NYX, they had a really cheap line of lipsticks, but they had a ton of colors and they were fairly decent. But anyways, getting on to applying this, I've been talking forever. This is the Anastasia liquid lipstick in the shade Dolce. I didn't have like So Hollywood or Milkshake or one of those. So I'm going to be using this one. It's probably going to clash with my shirt, but it will. This is one that takes 2 layers. Otherwise it gets really sticky and patchy. I am spoiled by the Jeffree Star liquid lipsticks because they dry down like perfectly. Like, you don't have to sit here and like fan them or like hang your mouth open forever and wait for it to dry. You know, I just realized I didn't put a blush on, even though I sat there and talked about it. So let me do that. So I'm going to use the this side of that e.l.f. The blush side of this is a little more pigmented than the bronzer side. I don't have to sit there and dig into it. Alright, so that is it. That is a finished look. Let me show you what it looks like here. And I just realized it wasn't like too tutorial-ish, but hopefully you got the gist of what I was trying to do. Maybe I'll call this like a get ready with me instead of a tutorial. I don't know. But hopefully that was interesting. Let me know in the comments if you remember any products that were like the thing to have, like super popular back in the day. And yeah, let me know if you want to see any other kinds of videos like this that are a little different than the usual that I do. So thanks so much for watching. If you're not already, please subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.